Have you ever gone out to dinner or vacation with a group, and when it came time to pay for the bill, everybody was looking at you or the ceiling or anywhere other than their wallet? I've experienced the awkwardness when it comes to splitting the bill, so let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the Debt Free Millennials YouTube channel. I'm your host Justine. Here we talk about financial confidence, crushing debt, and we're talking about the awkwardness of splitting the bill, especially as it pertains to going out to eat or going on vacation with a group. I think a lot of times this is happening to two different types of people. One, high income earners are those who are earning the most amount of income among the group. And then the second one is the person who is overly generous to a fault. Now there's a couple of different causes for that I want to address. First, I think this is happening because of perceived social obligation, especially as it pertains to high income earners who may feel obligated to pay for others even if they wanted to split the costs evenly. Now I'll give you an example of societal norms or cultural expectations where this is happening. For example, here in America, I think it's very common for children to expect that their parents are going to pay for dinners out, even if that child is grown and makes their own money. And I think if there's a vast difference in disparity in income levels among friends or family inside of that group, there creates that tension for that person who is making the most amount of money to foot the bill. This is also happening due to the difficulty of saying no. Not being able to say no and set clear, defined boundaries of how you're going to split the bill is going to create this awkwardness. If you find yourself saying no, you might fear that you're going to damage the relationship if you refuse. And if you struggle to communicate those financial boundaries, there may be misunderstandings or resentment from both parties involved. In addition to social obligations or that difficulty of saying no, there's also this pressure of social expectations. High income earners or those who are constantly footing the bill now have this expectation that they should be footing the bill for everybody. There's that pressure to maintain that image of generosity or affluence, and if you don't foot the bill, then you may come across as cheap or selfish. Now think about it this way: if it's you and a partner that are consistently going out to dinner and then you start paying for friend outings, and now all of a sudden it goes from 2 to 6 to a group of 8 people that you're paying for dinner, you want to maintain that image of generosity, and also you have to consider the financial impact of paying for a group of 8 every single time, when really it's truly a family of 2 that you are financially covering. Now on the flip side, there could be some power dynamics. Those who are constantly footing the bill may want to exert some control or influence over the group. I'm going to be paying for this because I want you to do XYZ. This could make people feel really uncomfortable, and the dynamics of the relationship could change. So what is the solution to this don't assume I'm paying for splitting bills or covering the cost of dinners or experiences? I think you have to find a balance between generosity and boundaries. So when it comes to splitting dinners, I'll give you this example because I see it a lot among our generation, and as we're getting older, everybody's, splitting the bills, and there are apps and things like that that help with that. My best friend is really good about this. She clearly states up front how she wants to treat a shared dinner. So for example, she'll say something like, hey, I'm gonna cover and get this dinner for us, so don't even worry about it, get whatever you want. Or on the flip side, she'll she does this very well, very offhandedly, as we're looking at the menu when we sit down, she'll say something like, hey, I've got my own, so don't even worry about me, I'm gonna get my own. And she doesn't make it awkward because she's stating it up front at the beginning of the evening, rather than waiting for the server to come by and drop off the bill, and then we're both staring at this paper receipt trying to figure out who's going to pay for what. If you can state it up front, that is going to clearly define the boundaries to help that other person know where you stand in sharing the expense. Now, if you're getting an invitation out to dinner, never expect that other person to pick up the tab. What you can do in that instance is inquire where you're going and take a look at the menu ahead of time. If it's a menu that's out of your budget, or you're like, I really don't want to spend spend that amount of money, you can simply say something like, hey, as much as I want to drop mad money on a steak dinner tonight, I really have to watch my wallet. How about we go to insert fast, casual, cheap restaurant here? And then it gives that other person the opportunity to respond back, and you're letting them know ahead of time where you stand. Hey, I'm expecting that I'm going to be paying for my share, and I really don't want to spend that amount of money, but I still want to go out with you. Let's do something cheaper. That person now has the opportunity to come back and say, actually, no, I was going to cover your meals, so don't worry about it, come with. Or actually, hey, yeah, that sounds great. And now it's less awkward because you've clearly stated your boundaries up front. Now, when it comes to splitting experiences, and when I say experience, I'm mainly referring to vacations or trips that you might take with a group, but this could apply to festivals or Disney or whatever. I've made the mistake of not clearly setting my boundaries up front, and it cost me. So what you can do is you can say something like this for your script. Hey, I have an idea that I want to run past you. We want to go to Palm Springs for the weekend. Airbnbs for the weekend are around $1,000 or $500 per couple. Is that something you can swing to join us for a weekend in the desert? Now you're clearly setting up the boundaries up front and saying, this is how much it's going to cost per person. Are you in or are you out? It gives them the opportunity to say yes or no and not have this awkwardness of like, yeah, we're in. And now you're stuck with the $1,000 weekend plus everything else that comes along with a vacation. And so this is all coming to mind because I see this a lot. It's happened to me. It's happened to you guys. Let me know in the comments, are you experiencing this awkwardness when it comes to splitting bills as it pertains to going out and doing some discretionary spending on dinners, bars, vacations, and whatnot? If you're wanting to get that spending under control and really clearly define those boundaries, I encourage you to check out my Spend More, Debt Less workbook. And this is going to help you determine what are the things that you truly love spending money on and what are the things that you can cut out or create clear boundaries for. You can check out my Spend More, Debt Less workbook in the description box below. I will leave a link to it so you can check it out, and I will catch you in the next one.